Welcome back, legends. I hope you're all fantastic. We're going to have a play around with the latest beta release for the Axe-Fx 3. It is up on the forum where you can go and download it and install it. There's a brand new amp model in here, which is where we're going to start. This is the Diamante Fire model. So it's based on a Diamond Fuego, which was a Roy Blankenship design, kind of like Marshall 18-watt clone. There's the Blankenship leads already in here, which does a very similar thing. This one, to me, is slightly less aggressive sounding. I've been liking it for more of the edge of breakup stuff, but we'll hear it in just a second. I'm playing my old Strat at the moment. I have a cabinet IR that I actually made last night. I recently got a 1969 pre-roller greenback in a trade. I shot some test IRs for it, and I just mixed them up. This is a Cab Lab mix, and I'm pretty sure I posted these mixes as well as the individual IRs up on the forum. I'll link those as well. So to get started, we've got that, and we've got a bit of London Plate reverb, good old London Plate. So I'm so early with this that the editor has not been updated just yet, but basically very simple controls. You've got the drive control, and you've got the treble control, which is the tone control. So I find that you basically just crank them all up and play with your guitar volume control. So I'll pull treble up in a second, and then I will pull input drive up. Let's hear it. Now that particular model feels really nice. I like the way it kind of compresses when you've got the drive up around 5 or 6. Let's go to the speaker tab, because there is this new speaker thump control in here. We've got speaker breakup, we've got speaker drive. I like turning the speaker drive up a little bit. I like adding a bunch of speaker compression to this particular model and turning the speaker thump up to around 4 or 5. Sounds, and more importantly, feels really, really good. Or is it feels good, and more importantly, it sounds good? I think they're both pretty important to us as guitar players. Like I said, it's cool for that really kind of gritty thing. What I reckon I would enjoy this with is maybe some kind of compression up front, especially with a Strat. I have a block in my library that I've called Fat and Squishy, so it's using the studio feedback compressor. Let's hear that combo. I actually kind of like it more with that off. The compression on there is very, very cool. Cool for single note stuff, but I think with chords, the amp is already kind of doing enough that I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's add some more things to this just while we're here. One thing that I've been playing around with, I will stay with this particular new amp model, but we will hear it with some more filth in just a second, is using a dual delay and doing this. So this is kind of like an old trick that people have been doing forever, where you have two delay lines or two delay taps, and you have the LFO modulation on them 180 degrees out of phase, so that as you know, the delay time is kind of going up on one, it's going down on the other. So I'll set these to have exactly the same tempo subdivision and the same amount of feedback. Well, 30.4 versus 30, who's counting? You go into modulation though, and because we have 3 LFOs in here, LFO 3 is for panning stuff, the first 2 LFOs I've set the same, but I just had them target each of the delay taps separately. So you can see they're 180 degrees out of phase here. So if I set the depth to 0 on each of those, you can have a listen to the effect. It's a pretty sweet sounding delay because I've got a lot of filtering going on in the EQ section. Let's hear this. I'll add the modulation now. The phase on both of them is the same. I'll change it to 180 degrees as we go. Make sure you're listening in stereo. Let's hear the same settings with some absolute filth now. I love the overall stereo imaging on that. One fun trick with delay, which I've talked about before, is to add some ducking. I like a kind of release time around 100 milliseconds and, you know, maybe 12 to 15 dB of attenuation. Now, when I play, the delays are going to duck under everything I'm doing. When I stop playing, they're going to bloom back up. I like that quite a lot. The diffusion time, the minimum diffusion time has been reduced on this. You can actually get it below 10% now. So if you're around 5%, I'll bring a bit of diffusion in on this. You get that classic diffused delay smear. Another thing that I like with this is you do a quarter note and dotted eighth note delay thing. I've seen lots of people asking about that Andy Timmons pedal that he's brought out with Keeley, I think, the Halo. The kind of classic thing is a quarter note and a dotted eighth note. I like to adjust the feedback so that it's all scaled. So around 45% on the dotted eighth note, around 30 on the quarter note. This sounds incredible. I will add some cross feedback to it in just a second. And now with some cross feedback, you'll notice that I'm using positive feedback on one voice and negative on the other. I think it sounds cool. Some more things which are super fun, not really related to this firmware like the last section. That was just me playing around with delay because I love delay. You probably love delay as well. Let me know if you love delay in the comments. But I've been lucky enough to borrow some really sweet vintage effects pedals recently. And my buddy Nicholas over in Sweden has been helping me out. And by helping me out, I mean really doing all the work, analyzing these to kind of match some of these. So I will release these blocks at some point very soon, but I'll give you a little preview. So here is an Electric Mistress flanger that's been matched to hardware. There's also some fun chorus stuff. I'm really looking forward to having all of this stuff out, but I'll give you another teaser. This is based on the chorus from a particular famous delay unit. One last one while we're here. I have tried the mini voicer in the Quad Cortex. I saw a thread on the forum where someone was trying to get that sound, and I put them side by side with the dual diatonic block in the Axe-FX 3 and was able to get that particular sound. One thing that I noticed was the QC had slightly higher filter slopes, so I just added a parametric EQ after there. You can see a high cut at 10K with quite a steep slope on there. And then I've got a low cut around 120 Hertz. And then what have we got? For this example, a fifth up and a sixth down, which is kind of interesting. I'm in the key of F for whatever reason. Why not the key of F? You know, all keys deserve a bit of love. And then I have set the detector source to block in. You will notice that I've got the pitch block in parallel so that I can use it with this EQ, but in between the amp and the cab. I think that's an important part of the sound. Pitch tracking is smooth. I've got the tracking all the way up, and I've got pitch quantize at stepped on there, so it will quantize all of the notes. Sounds pretty cool, I think. I also recorded a side-by-side clip earlier with this setting and the QC setting. I'm just switching on the fly. I'll let you hear that right now. Can you tell me which one's which? So I don't think they sound identical, but they definitely sound close enough for rock and roll, in my opinion. And it's a pretty consistent thread that I've seen in the entire time I've been using Fractal stuff is you might see a particular effects pedal come out, or a particular plugin or some other modeling device get some cool effect with a cool name. And the odds are that you can probably replicate it in the Fractal ecosystem already. You know, not only is there a dual diatonic pitch shifting block in here, there's a quad diatonic pitch shifting block. So if I want to take this a little bit further, I could go to quad diatonic. I'll just turn the mix back up over here. And let's say I want to add an octave down and an octave up to that particular sound. Why not? I'll bring the levels on this up a little bit and just kind of tweak them a little bit. Something like that. You can see where everything is panned on there. And then I get an even cooler sound because I have more voices on there, right? Whole lot of fun stuff. I have posted these settings up on the forum. I'll try to remember to link that in the video description, and I'll just play you all out, probably with the single cut again. I'll use the magic of television to swap back over, noodle around a little bit, but there's a bunch of stuff for the Axe-Fx 3. What a magic box. I say it every time, but there is so much potential for cool sounds in here. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment. If you've got any questions, leave a comment. I will do my best to get back to you. If you want to support the channel, there's links in the video description to do that. You can grab yourself some free IRs as well. The IR that I've been using for all of this, I have posted on Axchange, so you can grab it absolutely free and make some music with it, have some fun, and have a fantastic time until I see you next.